In 2020, if your Tableau dashboard is taking more than 5 seconds to load, then you might have some performance problems in Tableau. In this video, I'm gonna cover my golden rule and 7 tips and tricks in order to optimize the calculations so you can gain more performance in Tableau. Let's go. Welcome back to another tutorial. My name is Baraz Alkini and I am a IT architect. If you are working with small datasets, you don't have to worry about the performance. But if you are dealing with millions of records, performance is gonna be a huge problem. There is a lot of things that you can check in order to improve the performance, like doing optimizations at the data source, or filters, calculations, and the design of your dashboard. In this video, we're gonna focus on optimizing the calculations. The golden rule that I always follow, and I saw many developers are doing the same mistakes, is that don't let Tableau do the whole job. Don't let Tableau do everything like data and transformations, calculations, rendering, aggregations, joining tables. Do as much as you can at the original place of the data, such databases, and let Tableau focus on what it does best, like creating interactive visualizations and dashboards. Now, the question that I have for you is, do you have large data sets? Do you have complex calculations? If you do, then your calculation might draining a lot of performance. You really should consider moving those calculations to the data layer before the data even enters Tableau, especially if you are performing some row level calculations, because those considered to be the worst and they should be moved to the databases. So the next tip is about data types. Data types have a huge impact of the performance, especially in calculations, because computers can process numbers and booleans much faster than strings and dates. Here's my ranking list of those data types. So first, I always tend to try the boolean because it is the fastest type of those. Then I tried the number as a whole. Next we have number, decimal or float. Next we have dates and time, and the worst type in calculations are the string. So in this example we have the following calculation. We have if else statement, if product equal to v, then red, else blue. The output of this calculation is gonna be the data type string, and as we saw, data type string is the worst. So in order to optimize these calculations, we're gonna remove the red, and I'm gonna use the boolean. So I'm gonna use true, and instead of blue, I'm gonna put false. So by doing that, we just optimized our calculations, and Tableau gonna run this calculation much faster than the old one using the string. In Tableau, you have many functions and operations that you could use inside your calculations. Here you need to be careful which one you are using, because some of them requires a lot of processing times and resources. For example, average requires more processing time than min and max. So I would always prefer to use min and max instead of using the costly average. So for example, here I show you some functions that are really slow. For example, average, attributes, and count distincts. Those functions considered to be really slow. So try to use some fast calculations like max and min. As I start working with Tableau, I've done many mistakes inside the calculations that really cost me a lot of performance, because I always tend to write my own code instead of searching whether there's like Tableau functions that cover my problem. So my advice for you, first, search for the Tableau functions, because most of them are like optimized and have better performance than the custom code that you write. So in this example, I need some custom dates in my visualizations. So I create like calculated fields, and I put in string my date, then I cast it as a date. And that's because I don't know that there is like better function than that. So better than that, we could use the functions make date, which is much faster, then type the year, then the months and the dates. So this functions is really optimized and better than like writing the date in string, then cast it to the date. We have one more very common behavior that I noticed a lot of developers are doing, and that's making a lot of nested calculations, which really could cause a massive drop of the performance in Tableau. It's just like the Russian nested dolls. Each layer will add more complications and longer time of processing. So try to reduce those nested calculations in order to gain more performance. Alright guys, there is one more art of calculation that could be the reason of having slow dashboards, and that is using the dynamic calculations. The reason of having bad performance is that Tableau will not be able to store the results of those calculations in the extracts. And each time you will run your analyses or dashboards, Tableau can calculate those values over and over again. So try to not involve like parameters in your calculations if it is possible. In this example, I'm going to show you two different types of dynamic calculations. The first one, we are using Tableau parameter. So the result of these calculations will really depend on the value that I'm going to put inside the parameter. And the second one, we are using the now function. And here, the result of this calculation will really depend when I'm running the visualizations or dashboards. So those types of calculations are really variables and dynamic, and Tableau cannot store the values like in extracts. Next tip that I want you to avoid using useless calculations in the custom SQL. There's a number of SQL calculations that are useless in Tableau, and you should avoid using them because they just make no sense. They waste processing time. For example, if you are using order by over here in the custom SQL, there is no really benefit of using that because Tableau have inside functions to do the order. So using the order by here is just wasting the resources in Tableau. So my advice here, try to avoid such calculations. Okay guys, if this video helped you to improve the performance in Tableau, give this video a like, and as always, if you want to learn more about Tableau or working with data, click on subscribe so you don't miss any content. If you have any questions or you want me to cover any other topic, use the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial. See ya!